So this is a brief video about my activism. I'm Gillian Proctor. My initial response to the request to produce this was to say I'm not an activist because I've got a particularly poor record of being involved in demonstrations, certainly for the last 30 years. However, I do certainly act politically. My first official action was at the age of 17, becoming a vegetarian. This was after some time of debating whether there was really any point in my individual action because it would hardly save many animals in my lifetime. But finally deciding there was something crucial about standing apart from such practices, being able to say they're not in my name. As a student at the end of the Thatcher years, this was prime time to be involved in politics and demonstrations, marches against student loans and against the poll tax. Then as New Labour arrived in power, there wasn't such an obvious enemy, and instead the insidious commodification of any resistances. Pride marches had felt highly political in the early 90s and became festivals for all, celebrating consumerism more than anything else. Inequalities became celebrating diversity, with all the exoticisation, hypocrisy and not changing anything that this entails. Racism, sexism and heteronormativity are as alive and well as ever, but not so explicit or easy to challenge. And those of us repeatedly drawing attention to these issues as being causal for distress are seen to be exaggerating or having chips on our shoulders. In all my writing, my mission has been to offer a much needed corrective to the cultures of psychology and counselling, from the usual intrapsychic individualistic focus to the socio-political, and how who we are is so formed by our positionings in society, which have such a direct impact on our possibilities. At the same time, I don't hold a radical materialist position, such as that of David Smale, and I don't want to lose sight of our individual agencies and existential choices and values, whatever our positionings. And holding both of these sides, about the structures of society and individual agency and their complexity, is an ongoing challenge that I relish.